From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Sulaiman Aleda.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Nigerian Army burst Boko Haram female wing, arrest 3 suspects in Adamawa State. Commotion as a soldier is killed by a BRT vehicle. Angry colleagues pounce on the other buses, burning over 5. Former CBN governor withdraws suit against the federal government. And thousands of family members and sympathizers throng the funeral of a murdered Palestinian teenager in East Jerusalem.
And on business news, Nigerian Stock Exchange closes week in green as market index touches 43,000 basis points.
And on sports news tonight, Swiss maestro Roger Federer and world number 2 Novak Djokovic to clash in Sunday's men's singles final at Wimbledon.
We'll start tonight with some form of good news as the military says it's making good progress in the war against terror. Earlier today, the military hierarchy told journalists that it has arrested 3 suspected female terrorists who it says have been secretly recruiting ladies into the female wing of the Boko Haram sect. The suspects, Hafsat Usman Bako, Zainab Idris and Aisha Abu Bakr, are said to have been intercepted while traveling to Madagali, Adamawa State, from where they were to transit to the forest to reunite with their cohorts. Investigations carried out by the military revealed that the suspects, led by Hafsat Bako, were on their way to recruit members into the female wing as well as conduct espionage for the group. According to the military, Hafsat's link with the terrorist group had earlier been a subject of investigation in 2012 when security agents and a manhunt for one Usman Bako, her husband, who was identified as a terrorist, stormed their residence in Jimeta. This is said to have resulted in the discovery of an AK-47 rifle and 2 loaded magazines. Before the arrest of the trio suspects, the women were hiring ladies, especially widows and young girls, by enticing them with male suitors who are mainly members of the terror group. Members of the Chibok community have appealed to the United Nations for support in tackling the spate of insecurity in their community. At the news conference in Abuja, the national chairman of Chibok Area Development Association, Dr. Pogu Bitrus, said the appeal became necessary as they totally feel neglected by the federal government in the provision of adequate security for the community after over 200 girls were abducted 81 days ago. Dr. Pogu said 7 parents of the abducted girls have died, while over 229 persons have been killed after the attack on Government Girls Secondary School. To prevent further attacks on their community and in the northeastern part of the country, the group is calling for negotiations between the federal government and members of the sect.
Nation wish to categorically state that the inability or unwillingness of the federal government to provide adequate security to the Chibok, that is Chibok Nation, following the abduction of the girls, leaves us with no option than to call on the United Nations to use its apparatus to come to our aid and protect us from the imminent annihilation as a people. This is in line with 2005 World Summit Outcome Document inclusion of R2P, that is responsibility to protect, in paragraph 138 and 139, and by the report issued on January 12, 2009 by the UN Secretary General titled The Responsibility to Protect, R2P, anchored on 3 pillars. And these three pillars are: 1, a state has the primary responsibility to protect its population from genocide, war crimes, and ethnic cleansing, and crimes against humanity. 2, the international community has a responsibility to protect states, to help states build capacity to protect their population from genocide, war crimes, and ethnic cleansing, and crimes against humanity, and help those under stress before crisis and conflicts break out. And 3, responsibility of the international community to act in a timely and decisive way to prevent and halt genocide, war crimes, and ethnic cleansing, and crimes against humanity when a state fails to protect its population.
The Bring Back Our Girls campaigners have advised the federal government to negotiate with the terrorist group Boko Haram to put an end to insecurity in the country. The group, who gave the advice at its sit-out session at the Unity Fountain area in Abuja, believe that negotiation with the sect is not an act of cowardice, but a move which would restore peace and development in the country.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being
Members of the Bring Back Our Girls group at its daily sit-out session at the Unity Fountain area of Abuja in the Federal Capital Territory to press home their demand for the release of the over 200 girls abducted by members of the Islamic sect Boko Haram in Chibok, Borno State. Although it's over 80 days since the abduction of the schoolgirls, the campaigners say they remain resolute and advise the government to negotiate with the sect to rescue the girls.
23-year-old kid, that's what we're talking about. And then today you say you will not negotiate with, there is room for negotiation. If they say they will negotiate with these people, we are not going to crucify them. I think we are going to commend them. The important thing is that after the negotiation, what do you do? It's not wrong to negotiate. It is not cowardly to negotiate. In fact, it is an act of bravery, it's an act of strategic thinking, it's an act of responsible leadership to agree to negotiate, because you are not looking at yourself. It's not the public image that you are going to get by not negotiating or negotiating, but you are looking at the outcome of that negotiation. 200 plus girls' lives are at stake, and you say you will not negotiate. I think as a group we need to put pressure on government. We need to tell government clearly that the alternative is to negotiate.
For these Nigerians and many others not here, government must ensure timely intervention in the rescue of the abducted girls.
For me, I keep coming after 81 days because I don't have any option not to. The girls in the forest, they do not have option of taking a break. They've not been able to. For 81 days they've been there. So for me, I can't even imagine myself staying at home. And then you keep, one of our chants here is the fact that when are we going to stop? Until the girls are back and alive. And right now they are not back home. Until we have them back home alive, that's when we can begin to think of stopping. But for now, we don't have that option.
And what keeps bringing us here over and over again is we are standing with them, because even if we cannot go there as civilians, we believe that we can extend spiritually, we can stand for them, we can pray to God and God hears our prayers, and we'll continue to stand until the day these girls are brought back and alive. And for me, I can't sit back and watch this. So long as I'm alive, I will keep coming until the day I see any tangible action is being done on this.
The campaign for the rescue of the abducted schoolgirls continues. Many Nigerians wonder how long it would take the security agencies to rescue the girls who have been in captivity for over 80 days.
And the mobilization team should...
There was a pandemonium in Lagos today when angry soldiers pounced on operators and commuters of the bus rapid transit scheme following the death of a soldier. About 5 BRT buses were damaged by the soldiers in the rampage after the accident involving one of the buses. Our correspondent Kelvin Obetin reports.
The pictures shown here are taken from an amateur view, but clearly represents what transpired on the popular Ikorodu Road between some angry soldiers and operators of the Lagos State Bus Rapid Transit, popularly known as BRT, in the early hours of today. The soldiers had stormed the area on hearing that one of their colleagues was knocked down by a BRT. For over 5 hours, the road was locked down. The aggrieved soldiers prevented any transit bus from plying both sides of the road, causing most commuters to be stranded. About 6 of the buses were damaged, some even set ablaze. Journalists and passers-by were not allowed to take pictures of happenings. Those who dared were manhandled as soldiers positioned themselves at strategic points to ensure that their orders are carried out. There are 2 major eyewitnesses' accounts on the incident. According to the first, the soldier who was riding on a motorcycle on his way to work was alleged to be on high speed when he rammed into a station BRT and died instantly. The second account has it that the soldier was knocked down by a speeding BRT. Meanwhile, both the Lagos State government and the military say they are investigating the incident. Kelvin Obetin, Channels Television News.
Now, the army authorities in Lagos have denied the involvement of soldiers in the mayhem wreaked on BRT buses in the Obanikoro area of the state. Instead, they blame miscreants for taking advantage of the accident involving a soldier who was knocked down by a BRT bus. In a statement, Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Abraham Ochaguba, says a BRT bus knocked down and killed a soldier this morning around Obanikoro. The bus driver reportedly took the soldier's body into the bus and attempted to drive away, but fled when other soldiers who had witnessed the incident arrived at the scene. The soldiers then secured the vehicle and towed it away. According to the statement made available to Channels Television, quote, area boys then took advantage of the incident and started attacking buses, end of quote. Lieutenant Colonel Ochaguba adds that the burnt BRT buses were from the scene of the incident, while the bus that killed the soldier was neither attacked nor vandalized. In the meantime, the Lagos State Governor, Babatunde Fashola, has described as irresponsible action of the soldiers who committed today's mayhem in Lagos. He says it's worrisome that public servants who are paid with taxpayers' money could vandalize government's property for no clear reason.
I have been in touch with the brigade commander, who assured me that he was managing and controlling the situation. Nothing I have yet is verified. I'm waiting for formal reports before we then can ventilate a position. There is allegation that somebody who was not supposed to be on the BRT route was on the BRT route. As far as I know, if something happens to you while you are conducting an unlawful act, it's a criminal offense in its own sense, but it's really disappointing, to put it mildly, that public servants, and that's what soldiers are, paid with taxpayers' money, will act in a manner that is being suggested here. And I say this being suggested because I'm waiting for official reports to let me know really who played what role, what happened, whether or not even the brigade commander has been able to identify the people who were. But if it turns out to be true, it will be very, very irresponsible conduct, to put it very mildly.
Well, in part 2, after the break, federal government announces agreement with striking doctors. NMA may call off strike next Monday. That's in a moment. Stay with us.